Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. If you know this channel already, you know that I do regular news update videos from the world of Eurovision, and I want to do that today because there's lots to talk about. It is now 14 weeks until the grand final of Eurovision 2024. That is not that long, and that's really exciting. I have lots of news. We will talk about the odds that have changed a lot in the past week. Someone also thinks that Ireland may have a chance of winning Eurovision. A president has mentioned the contest as well. Then Benidorm is being criticized for the first semi-final. Mello snippets are out. San Remo lyrics are out. Lots of things to talk about, so let's get right to it. The first thing I want to talk about is that the big favorites in Norway and their national final Melodi Grand Prix have to change the lyrics of their song. That is, of course, Voce with the song Ulveham. It is based on a 1,000-year-old medieval ballad. And to make sure that no one complains, they now have to change these lyrics that were apparently fine in the semi-final for the final. I hope that doesn't kind of disadvantage them because they have to learn new lyrics. But Stig Karlsen, the HOD of Norway, has said that the feel of the song and also the historic references will stay the same, which is important, I think. And the reason seems to be that in the Norwegian music industry, there had been some talk that this was not allowed. And I think that might be a good sign for Voce, actually, that they think that they might actually win this. And they just want to prevent to have any discussion on plagiarism, even though a 1,000-year-old ballad that no one knows who wrote it, you can't really plagiarize. But anyway, so maybe this is actually good news for Voce. By the way, if you want to know my opinion about the Norwegian finalists, I have a video for that. Then the next topic is Bambie Thug could win Eurovision. This has been said by three-time Eurovision winner Johnny Logan. He is kind of an expert on winning Eurovision, however, more in the 80s and 90s than today. He said in the Sunday World, "I think it's a very good choice and it will definitely get attention. What I saw last night is that it was eye-catching and different. The people who were watching obviously related to it, and that's why it was chosen." And he also said, if it doesn't end up doing well at Eurovision, I will be quite surprised. I've always hoped that the Irish songs would do well over the last few years, but never really felt that they would. This one, I think, has a really good chance. This kind of surprised me because he is a balladeer, so that he likes the song is a bit surprising, but the reactions in Ireland seem to be really, really positive. And yeah, I don't know whether they are just getting carried away a little bit. This is coming from a burned German who always thought, who last year, for example, thought now we have something oomph and now we're not going to come last. So let that be a warning for you. However, Johnny also said that Bambie Thug, I've been trying to say the name more correctly, is not comparable to Loreen, and that's a good thing. So maybe his criteria for who will win Eurovision might not be as updated as they should be. However, Bambie Thug has also said that they will invest more money probably in, or will have more money to invest for the Eurovision performance, that they are an independent artist and therefore they kind of did it themselves for the performance in the Late Late Show when they were kind of criticized for the setup of the whole performance. So we can look forward to an updated performance at Eurovision. No one ever doubted that, I think, but anyway. Then I have a great clip of the week. A president of a country mentioned a Eurovision song, and that is the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, mentioning Eurovision at his state visit in Sweden. Let's have a look.
A Taste of France will soon be back to Skåne in Malmö for the Eurovision Song Contest in May 2024. I have to confess that France has not always been extremely successful, at least as Sweden, because the last time we won the Eurovision was in 1977. But we do hope for the best, as this year the great artist Slimane will represent our country. And obviously, we will be invited for the Olympic Games.
Even though he says it in a bit of a joking manner, it's cool that Slimane gets this kind of recognition. Then This an update that is a few weeks old, but I haven't made a video since then. Romania will not be in Eurovision 2024. They don't have the financial resources. They want to spend it on the Olympics, modernizing a new headquarters, and that's why they have to postpone participation for a future edition, they have said. So it isn't a goodbye forever, probably, but this year they will not be in Malmö, unfortunately. Then some updates about Benidorm Fest 2024. The second semifinal is tonight. The first semifinal was yesterday. Spain has already confirmed their participation in Eurovision 2025 and also that there will be another Benidorm Fest next year. That is great. 1 million people watched the semifinal yesterday, which is roughly the same as a year ago. So that all sounds like a success. However, there's also a lot of criticism in Spanish media actually about Benidorm this year. Not the artists or the songs, but about the whole TV program and specifically the sound. And I tweeted this out yesterday as well. The sound was just horrific. One Spanish newspaper used the word terrorífico, which is not a good thing. And I found this tweet, which I found really funny, the sound system this year at Benidorm by Dave. Yeah, there were some songs where you could not hear the verses. One Spanish newspaper also wrote they could have sung in Slovenian and we would have understood the same thing. I really, really hope they fix this for tonight because a song like Remitente or Dos Extraños, you really need a good sound for it to work. And so I hope that they can work on that. Another thing I found quite funny is that Nebulosa, with a great song called Zora, were competing while RTVE had Zorro, which is a TV show about Zorro, I guess, plastered on the screen during the entire semifinal. Let's see whether they also have that in the final. I find that quite funny. And then there's also some criticism about the fact that the televote winners didn't actually go to the final. Mantra were first in the televote, but they did not qualify to the final. You could kind of see their reaction, which was bittersweet because they were so happy to win the televote, but they weren't able to go to the final because only 25% of the entire result of the semifinal is decided by the televote. I think seeing the performance by Mantra, it might actually be a good argument to keep it that way. So the jury vote was won by Nebulosa. They were second in the demoscopic vote, which counts for 25%, and third in the televote, kind of surprising to me, which also accounts for 25%. And then Angie Fernandez, with a very good performance, but the sound problems didn't help her at all, was third in the jury, first in the demoscopic vote, and second in the televote. And Sophia Koll, I never connected to her song, and I also don't connect to the performance. She was fourth in the jury, third in the demoscopic, and fourth in the televote, and that was enough to make it. And then the fourth finalist was Miss Cafeína, second in the jury, last in the demoscopic vote, but still made it to the final, and fifth in the televote. So they made it basically because of the jury, but the performance kind of surprised me, actually. So who is the favorite for Benidorm at the moment? According to the odds, it's Nebulosa or San Pedro, and then closely followed by Angie Fernandez and Maria Pelae. Chanel and Blanca Paloma also didn't win all of the 3 votes, so we don't really know at this point, to be honest. But I think it's probably Nebulosa, Angie, Fernandez, maybe Maria Pelae, and San Pedro, and also Almacore, actually. And then I have another video tip for you. I did an interpretation of Maria Pelae's Remitente, so check that out. And why do I mention that? Because she actually shared my interpretation of her song with beautiful words as well, thanking me for it. And it's a question of feeling, and now it makes sense, because feeling and sense in Spanish is the same word, basically. So she's even poetic when she does a tweet. So this made me really, really happy. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I just wanted to mention it because I'm so happy about it. Next up, I talked about this in my last news video that Dannii Minogue might be competing for Australia. She shared some posts by the official channel of the Eurovision Song Contest. And now the SBS Eurovision site has been updated today, and tomorrow her new single drops. So let's see whether we will have any update from Australia on this. It would be quite an interesting lineup with Slimane and Ollie Alexander, two established artists, and then Dannii Minogue for Australia. Kind of excited. Then another video tip, sorry, I did a semi-allocation video where I kind of talked about the statistics of it all, because of course we have seen the draw and we now know in which semi-final each of the countries will perform. In my analysis video, I just focused on the statistics and I didn't really talk about the songs that we already know, so I want to do that now. A lot of people say that the first half of Semi-One is a bloodbath because they think that Jerry Heil and Alyona will win in Ukraine, that Poland will have a good song because they have a lot of submissions. Serbia's national final is amazing. The Rube are competing in Lithuania, even though I heard the song and yeah, I don't know. Then you have Baby Lasagna or Let 3 for Croatia probably, and Bambie Thug for Ireland. So people say that Ireland is kind of hurt by this. Also the fact that Slovenia with Raven is in the second half, and that's also kind of a witchcraft song. I'm not sure that that's the case, but yeah, Ireland kind of got dealt a bit of a bad hand. However, they have Australia, Finland, Iceland, Sweden, and also the UK in their semi-final, and they might kind of be into that. Finland, for example, is into these kinds of songs, I think. In general, who might suffer a bit is Portugal, because they don't really have a lot of friends there. All of the Latin Big Five countries are voting in the second semi-final. And then Luxembourg is also kind of not in a great position because Ali is half Israeli, I think. Israel is in the second semi-final, and all the other French-speaking countries are also in the second semi-final, as well as the Netherlands. So it's kind of, yeah, I kind of hope that they can still make it in a way. We shall see. In the second semi-final, I don't think any country is really helped or hurt. Something I forgot to mention in my statistics video is that Albania and Armenia have really been dealt a really good hand. Albania has all of its diaspora countries, Switzerland, Italy, France, Greece, in this semi-final. So they are almost already in the final, I guess. And Armenia also has Greece, France, and lots of countries that usually vote for Armenia. So, yeah, we shall see how it turns out. It's all speculation at this point, of course, but don't we love to speculate? Then we have an update on Germany. There was some news that MDR would take over from NDR. If you're not German, that might be a bit confusing, but there are many broadcasters that are regional, and NDR is the North German broadcaster, and they were responsible for Eurovision within the bigger public broadcaster ARD. Germans like it federal and complicated. And then people said that MDR, which is from Eastern Germany, would be taking over. However, they denied this, that this has not been decided yet. However, it would make sense because MDR is kind of responsible for music within ARD. And to be honest, I think a new breath of fresh air with a new broadcaster might be a good thing for Germany, to be honest. I also wanted to mention that Conchita is, of course, doing the castings for the 9th spot in the German national final. And she was in a German talk show and was really emotional talking about Eurovision, how much she loves it. It was really nice to see. So if you speak German, I'll share the link in the description of this video, kind of another clip of the week for you. Then we have some information about the Greek participation fee, which also tells us a little bit what other countries might have to pay. So this year they have to spend 176,647, very specific, euros for the participation fee. This doesn't include the hotels, the flights, and everything else. And last year it was a little bit lower, well, kind of a bit much lower, 150,000 euros. So about 25,000 euros more than last year. And that was maybe before Romania was out, whose participation fee will now also be missing. So you kind of see why a lot of countries are borderline whether they can participate or not. Romania really talked about it for a long time, but it is getting more expensive to participate, and something has to happen probably at some point. Then we have some news from Georgia. Nutsa Buzaladze, I still love that name, has received 300 songs. The HOD has confirmed, a lot of them from international songwriters. There isn't a favorite yet, but they are in the process of going through all the songs. And this also because I didn't make a news video for over 3 weeks. Kaleen has been announced as the Austrian artist for Eurovision. She has a lot of connections. She was a choreographer, dancer, and stand-in artist in Eurovision 2018. She has also been a creative director for a lot of junior Eurovision entries, and she is just, I think, in love with this contest. I love the continuation from Tia and Selena, who also were big Eurovision fans themselves. And now you have Kaleen with the song We Will Rave is the name of the song. Quite interesting. It would be an up-tempo number, I would think. I don't think it's going to be a ballad with that title. Then I wanted to talk about the odds. They have changed quite a bit. Iceland was leading them at some point because a Palestinian artist is participating in their national final, but after the songs were revealed, they have kind of drifted away again, and now Ukraine is very much in the lead. I think people expect Jerry Heil and Alyona to win, and that is a song that can definitely win Eurovision, I do think. Then second, we still have Olly Alexander, of course, a big established name, but also remember that Brits like to bet themselves and they like to bet on themselves. Then we have Italy in 4th place and Sweden in 5th place, I guess based on the fact that they have very successful national selections. Then Israel is going up again, probably because Lithuania is going down, because the Song of the Roop has not convinced as many people. That actually kind of happened to me as well, even though to me personally it's a better song than the other two they had that in 2020 and 2021. But that's not a great sign for success at Eurovision if I like a song. Then we have Ireland in 8th place, which is incredible to me. I do not think that that song is a Eurovision winner, but maybe it's also Irish people betting on their own entry. I don't know. Georgia doing well. Maybe the 300 song submissions convinced people. And then this is something for my eyes. Germany and my heart, in a way. Germany in 10th position in the odds. I still don't quite understand why exactly. I guess because of Rick. But to me, that song is not a Eurovision winner. I like it a bit more than when it was first revealed, but yeah, I don't really get it, honestly. Please let me know if you know why the odds for Germany are so good at the moment. And please don't change. I would love for this to stay like that till the Eurovision final. Next up, Mustii's song. This was just revealed, will be revealed and published on February the 20th. So another thing to look forward to. Then we also have the UMK running order. As you can see, Sini Sabotage, then Cian Kicks, then Jesse Markin, Mikael Gabriel, then Sara Sipola, who is, I think, the big favorite to win and is still doing well in Spotify in Finland. Sex Main right after that, that's a bit strange to me because they kind of have a similar vibe, at least to me. I would have separated them. And then the big show closer will be Windows 95 Man. But with so few songs in the national final, I don't think the running order actually matters as much as in Eurovision with 26 songs. Then the first snippets of Melodifestivalen, Heat number 1, have also been published. Here are my first impressions. Elisa Lindström sounds like a typical Melodifestivalen Schlager, kind of okay. Lisa Ajax and Adam Woods, also very standard pop. Samir and Victor, I felt it seemed a bit boring for what they usually do, but then they're the most viewed video of the Melodifestivalen channel, not because of the song so much, I guess. And then we have Smash Into Pieces. That also seemed a bit subdued to me, but maybe it's just the beginning of the song. And my personal favorite, which probably is a sign of doom for her, is Melina Borklo with a really beautiful, slow, quiet song in Swedish, which probably means that she will not be qualifying to the final. But anyway, then we have seen the full results of Luxembourg Song Contest, which was won by Tali and her song Fighter. In the first round of voting, Tali won both televote and jury vote, and Krik, who came second overall, was also second in both. So maybe you didn't really need the second round of voting, but there Tali won the jury vote But Crick won the televote, surprisingly, because it's a ballad, by just 1 point, however. So kind of agreement in Luxembourg that Tali would be a good choice, even though they also like Crick's song quite a lot. And Tali and Fighter were #1 in Spotify in Luxembourg for a minute. They're not anymore. But that alone is already a good success, I think, for Luxembourg in Eurovision. Then we have some news from San Marino, Una Voce per San Marino, 129, I'll repeat that, 129 semifinalists have been revealed. I went through them for you. Please thank me for that. The only name I can recognize is Megara, actually, who, of course, participated in Benidorm last year. And these 129 semifinalists will compete for one of the 8 spots in the final in San Marino, and they will be joined by 8 established artists. So yeah, lots of fun performances probably to go through for these semifinals. Then let's stay in the general vicinity of San Marino and go to San Remo, the Italian national final. We now know the duet partners of some of the participants, of all of the participants actually, and also the lyrics of all of the songs. And we know that Annalisa, for example, will perform with La Representante di Lista and a choir, and they will perform Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. I'm quite interested to see that. Then Fiorella Magnoa has invited Francesco Garbani, who of course is a former Eurovision participant. Red De Palma will perform with Eiffel 65, who were in the San Marinese semifinal or final, I don't remember, last year. Il Tre has invited Fabrizio Moro, and Manini has invited Ermal Meta. And Fabrizio Moro, Ermal Meta, and Francesco Garbani all wanted to participate in San Remo this year, but they were not chosen. So this is a nice way to still give them a chance to perform. And the lyrics are also available. The press has already heard some of the songs. And the winner, I think, of the press vote was Loredana Bertè, which makes me so happy. If you don't know her, she's kind of the Cher of Italy, I guess, kind of being laughed at for being a bit strange or having a interesting career, lots of gay fans as well. So a bit like Cher. Then all of the lyrics are also available, and I looked at a few of them just to get a feel of what we can expect. And there was a press vote. They actually got to listen to the songs, and Loredana Bertè won that press vote, which makes me so happy because I think she needs a lot more recognition. She's kind of, if you don't know her, the Cher of Italy, I would say. Huge gay following. People kind of look down on her sometimes for being too extravagant, maybe, but I think she deserves a lot more recognition. The song is called Pazza, which is crazy, and she basically sings about not caring about other people's opinions, going your own way. She sings, first they call you crazy and then a saint, and then she also sings, I am the craziest, Pazza, but I am crazy, Pazza, for me. So that's a very interesting song, and I can't wait to hear it. It has been described as Italian rock. Mahmoud has a song about dancing your brain away in Budapest, about a golden suit. I think the song might be hip-hop influenced. That's what I get from the lyrics. Then Big Mama also made me notice the lyrics because they are really dark. And then Annalisa, who was another favorite of the press and is currently the favorite to win San Remo, has a very deep song, I think, with references to mental health problems, thinking about your life and your choices. And that's just really interesting. I cannot wait to hear these songs. I love Italy in Eurovision. I love San Remo. And I cannot wait to add about 25 songs to my playlist next week. So these are all the news I have for you today. We have a lot to look forward to this weekend. The Ukrainian national final, the Norwegian national final, the Maltese national final, and the final of Benidorm, all happening this Saturday. And there will be lots of rating videos, reviews, and stuff on Sunday. So please do subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss that. Tomorrow I'm going to review all 8 finalists of Benidorm once again and let you know what I think about the performances. So please do subscribe if you don't want to miss that. See you then, and bye-bye.